Institute in San Antonio, Texas. Glad to be present. We're going to be doing our progressive therapeutic yoga practice this morning. So what you need for this practice, you need your yoga mat. It would help to have a yoga strap or a towel, something that you can use to extend and lengthen your arms when we are reaching for our legs and stretching. It could also be beneficial to have a chair, a standard chair, something that is really sturdy. We have yoga blocks here in the studio, so we'll be using those. And a yoga strap, chair, blocks, yeah, I think that's about all you need. Yourself, which would be very important. Sense of humor doesn't hurt. Sometimes we go into postures or practices that might feel a little bit uncomfortable or we feel a little silly. Don't worry, just give a good laugh. Really, that's about it. We're getting ready to get started. Hopefully everybody out there is taking care of themselves, just making time to take in some exercise. If you're watching this particular live stream, then you're probably doing the work. Congratulations. Part of our practices in using our yoga lifestyle practice is to learn how to pay attention, to practice paying attention, to notice when our mind is distracted, when we are overwhelmed, overstimulated, over worried, all of those things. So our yoga practice can be really beneficial. When you learn how to pay attention, or when you practice it, then you notice when you're feeling that way, and you have a choice. You can actually step out of those feelings for a moment and say, hey, I understand that I'm overwhelmed, but right now I'm going to take a breath, I'm going to take a break, and then I can resume what I need to do. So looking forward to hearing your feedback. Yes, I have heard some feedback that, oh, Nydia, it's cutting out the live stream. Yes, that's happening. I'm still working on my technology. Thanks to all sorts of individuals with their feedback. I'm actually connecting in a different way next week, so we'll see. And if you're on Nydia's Yoga Therapy Studio's email list, you'll get an email next week that'll kind of give you some information about how we're going to do a trial for some live streaming next week, and actually do some classes together. So go look for that. If you don't know how to get on the email list, you can go to my website, www.nydiasyogatherapy.com. Go to the page, Contact Us, and you'll see an area where you can subscribe to that and get on the email list. Right now I'm sending quite a bit of messages, but normally I send about a message or two a month into your inbox. And I like to share information about how we can care for our minds, bodies, and spirits for the long term. So I hope that you'll check that out. Do go to our Vimeo, Vimeo.com, our Vimeo.com page. It is under Nydia Darby. Go look for that, and you'll see a lot of the archives of these videos. I also have a video on demand page with Vimeo.com. You can find that there, or you can also find that on the website at nydiasyogatherapy.com/on demand or video on demand. So go look for that. And go look for our YouTube page. Nydia's Yoga Therapy Studio has a YouTube page, and that's where I put a lot of content also. You'll see videos that help you to strengthen your feet, strengthen your whole body. I am a doctor of physical therapy. I have been teaching movement, fitness, exercise for the last 40 years, teaching people how to take care of themselves, their bodies, their minds, their spirits. Exercise is no stranger to me, and I love to help teach people how to care for themselves. We keep it pretty simple, but it's very effective. And so do look out for that, and I look forward to hearing from you. All right, let's get started. Remember, if you're out there live streaming and this cuts out, then that's a perfect time for you to stop and just listen to your breath. You know, when you notice, oh, you get a little, irritated, oh, it's cut out and I can't do this. Yes, you can. Stop, listen to your breath, wait for the live stream to come back on, and then resume the practice. We make do with what we got, and right now, this is what we have, so we're very fortunate. Sending you love. It is April Fool's Day, so no trickery for you today. We're just going to do our practice. So enjoy. Here we go. Let's begin in standing mountain with your weight even between both feet. And as you are standing tall, just take a moment to settle in. Find your breath. Feet are parallel, about hip distance apart. And as you're standing, you could look down to your feet and notice that not only are the feet hip distance apart, but while you're standing, try to feel the weight even between the ball of the foot, that's the part that you might roll up on, that's the ball right there, and then the heel. So as you're standing, you can lift the toes up while you're breathing. And that helps to encourage the muscles that support the structural arches in your feet. So here we are, we're standing. Relax the feet down, the toes down a little bit, but keep the muscles active. Draw your awareness, if you can. The mouth is closed, you're breathing through your nose. Really pay attention to this breath. Feel the sensation of your breath moving gently in and out through your nose. And as you're standing, notice, as we do more activities, notice if your breath is altered or changed. And if it is, while you're trying to do something, if breathing gets difficult, then that is a sign from your body that you're doing too much. And you can take rest and give yourself a moment and then come back. While you're standing, bring your attention to the legs and the knees and see if you can keep breathing while you give your knees a tiny little bend, just a little bit. Just enough so that now the front muscles in the thighs and the back muscles in the thighs and the calf muscles can begin working. We're pressing firmly down into the mat while you're breathing and creating a sense of length from all the way through the top of the head. So as you're standing tall, breathing, now bring your awareness to your shoulders. Notice if your shoulders are slumped forward, if your head is dropped forward, and if you can, when we were standing through the legs strong, then begin to lift the torso a little bit. Front of the chest lifts just a bit, and as you're breathing, imagine and sense and actually do it. See if you can draw the shoulders back very gently, moving them back towards the midline, back behind you. Just notice if the shoulders can then drop back and down gently towards your pelvis. Notice if you did too much, and draw in a little bit. Doesn't have to be extreme, just a little something. And then notice where your eyes are looking forward. As you're breathing, can you gently draw the head back? We call that a retraction of the head, chin. And now just stand tall. During any part of our work, whether we're in standing, you can come to this standing mountain position at any time. If you get tired, you can come to sitting, you can take rest, and then join us again. So remember, these practices should feel good. I like to start with my hands at heart center. We're going to move through a sun salutation in just a moment, but let's begin. The eyes can be opened or closed. As you're standing, feeling your breath. Ever so gently, just moving through your body. I'd like to begin an intention in my mind, and I'd like to share it with you. This intention that we've been using comes from the tradition of loving kindness meditation. And these mantras that we can repeat in our mind at any time, it's good practice for ourselves and for all beings everywhere. May we all be safe. May we all be happy. May we all be healthy. May we all live with ease. Let's begin with one long, strong Om. Inhale. Samastiti. Let's begin with our modified sun salutation. Inhale, reach the arms skyward, and exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. And as you exhale, gently bend the knees, bring the hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees, bring the hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees, hands to heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend the knees, bring the hands to your thighs. Let's do that again. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees, bring the hands to your thighs, dropping your bottom back. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bend the knees, bring the hands to the thighs. Let's do one more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees, bring the hands to the thighs, and hold right here. Lengthening your spine a little bit. We're going to move through the spine, keeping the knees bent, keeping the hips bent. And here, let's inhale, extend. Open your chest forward, lift your tailbone, and exhale, flex round. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex round. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex round. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex round. One more. Inhale, extend. And exhale, flex round. Inhale, sweep all the way up, standing mountain arms overhead, and exhale, hands to heart. We're going to widen the stance, and widening the stance can really help those of us who are still working on being able to touch the ground. When we widen the stance and we bend the knees and we move through, this is all practice for helping us learn how to get closer to the mat. This is an important practice. It's an important thing to be able to get down onto the mat and down onto the floor and get back up. So this sun salutation that I've developed over the last 25, 30 years is designed to help us get down on the floor and get back up. So it's an important thing. And I want you to share this with as many people as you know, that they can gradually start practicing these things. So let's inhale, reach the arms skyward. Exhale, bend the knees, sit your bottom back. Again, inhale, reach up. Only sit back, exhale, as far as you're able to breathe. Inhale, reach up. And sit back as far as you're comfortable in the joints. Inhale, reach up. Now, muscles may get tired. Exhale, and that's normal. But joints, inhale, reach up. Exhale, sit back. Should never hurt. Inhale, reach up. And so if you're moving through this gentle squat that we're doing, notice that we're doing quite a few of them, and you feel that your thigh muscles get tired or your lower leg or feet muscles get tired, then you can take a break. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, and then join us while we're still here. Inhale, reach up. Yeah, we're doing this on purpose. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, sit back. Inhale, reach up. Some of us are not going to bend so low. Exhale. Inhale. But guess what? Just because you're bending just a little bit doesn't mean it's not worth it. Inhale, reach up. You might just bend a little bit because, inhale, reach up, because that's what honors you at this time. Inhale, reach up. But that's okay. Start where you are. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sit back if you can. Inhale. We're gradually getting ready. Some of us are going to tap or touch the floor lightly. Inhale, reach up. Yeah, we're still here doing this. Some of you are noticing that your breathing's getting a little more labored. Yeah. I'm giving you the full treatment, just like our students participate in this progressive therapeutic yoga class. And sometimes we've been known to spend about 3 to 5 minutes just doing a little squatting and reaching down, getting the heart rates up. And exhale. All right, let's go ahead and inhale, reach up. We're going to place the hands down onto the mat, wide fingers and palms. Push the floor away and step the feet back into the downward dog. We push the floor away from us. We straighten the legs as much as we can. We lengthen the spine and let the head drop down. Inhaling and exhaling. Just feel the sensation. Just when we thought it was a good idea not to squat anymore, now we're down dog, and down dog is not as easy as it looks. Inhale and exhale, bend your knees. And inhale and exhale, move into your child's pose. Your forehead can rest down on the crossed forearms, or your forehead can rest, if it touches, onto the mat. The arms can reach back behind you. Now, not everybody's hips are going to go back to their heels, so it's very appropriate if your hips are up in the air. Just find a position that you can somewhat rest in, somewhat find your breath. And just recognize, move every breath, and exhaling. And then when you're ready, inhale, come onto the hands and knees, wide fingers, wide thumbs. Now, in today's practice, I'm going to give particular emphasis to our upper quadrant, our hands, wrists, forearms, shoulder girdle, and there's a reason for that. Many of us have been spending computers with our texting, with our phones, our digital media, and not everyone has realized that some of us are getting pretty tight up in these areas. So you'll notice what we're going to demonstrate later. You'll probably feel this area, and I want you to take note of what we're up to. This video will be archived, and return to it as often as you can, because we need to work on this upper quadrant and make sure that it doesn't get too tight. So right now, thumbs, fingers wide, and breathe. Feel the weight even between the ball of your hand and the heel of your hand, thumbs and fingers wide. Shoulders, if possible, above the wrists. Some of us, it's still not time yet, so hands will be a little bit more forward. And you've got work to do, but that's okay. We're going to do the best that we can. Push the floor away from you. Let the head look down, eyes looking down to the mat. We're going to push the floor away. Move the shoulders down to your pelvis. The back of the head goes to the ceiling, and the area between your ribs also goes to the ceiling, and we hold here while you breathe. There's a gentle bend of the elbows, just enough so the muscles are working. This is our setup for quadruped hold. You have the choice. You can push the floor away and just hold right here. Breathe. Feel the thumbs, fingers wide, the ball of the hand and the heel of the hand, anchoring, breathing. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's do some cat-cow. We're going to extend. Inhale. This is our cow extension. And exhale, flex round. Inhale, extension. We set up that foundation. Exhale, flex round. And now we can move. Inhale, extension through the spine. Exhale, flex round. Inhale, extend, open the front side. Exhale, flex round. And inhale, extend, open the front side. And exhale, flex round. And now inhale, extend. And exhale, sit back, reach back. We're going to reach, sitting your hips back and reach the arms forward. This is a variation of child's pose with the arms extended overhead, and just breathe. And right now, as you inhale and exhale, I'm going to ask you to extend the wrists. That means if your palms are on the mat ahead of you, now I want you to keep reaching the arms forward, breathe, and now lift the back of the hand, thumbs and fingers wide, lift the palms off of the mat, and the back of the hand stretches towards your face. Breathe. And now we're beginning some of that action to the hand and wrist, and stretch. And now we're going to flex the fingers while you're doing that and say good morning to your forearms and wrists and hands. And now release. Beautiful. With your hands on the mat, reaching forward, still breathing. Now I'm going to ask you to, and I'll show you on the video, on the camera, but you may not be able to see it here. I'm going to ask you to move your pinky, your whole hand, but your pinky side, you're moving to the pinky side, and you're just holding. So if you were, I don't know if you can see this, on the mat, your hands, your arms are straight out. Now you're just kind of moving your hands out to the side. So it's out to the pinky side, the thumbs are kind of stretching forward, woo, and now we're going to come back center, and the wrists, the hands move to the thumb side. Breathe, and it's a very subtle breathe, stretch. Do it again, hands, palms flat, fingers and thumbs wide. We move all the way to the pinky side, breathe. This is subtle movement, and then now come back center and move the hands, wrists all the way to the thumb side. They kind of move in and out, breathe. Now come back. We're going to curl the fingers, kind of make a fist. Curl the fingers into your hands, into your palm, make a fist, and now we're going to roll up onto the fists and push the knuckles forward and just feel a stretch and breathe. This is something that we can do. Inhale and exhale. Now I'm going to roll to the left and right, kind of like I'm rolling through, hopefully I think you can see that, just rolling on the fists, in and out, and then opening the hands. We got a lot of hand and wrist action to do, so now just take a moment. That's just a little beginning. As you inhale and exhale, now we're going to reach the arms, both arms over to the right. Let's feel a stretch to the sideways. Breathe. Inhale and exhale. Keep stretching thumbs and fingers away from your center, and then walk the hands back center and walk both arms over to the left side and feel the stretch. Breathe. Inhale and exhale. And come back center. Inhale, come onto quadruped. Exhale, push the floor away, back of the head and the ribs to the ceiling. Curl the toes under. So we set our foundation, shoulders down to the pelvis, back of the head, ribs to ceiling, anchor, wide thumbs, fingers, gentle bend of the elbow. Curl the toes under and lift the knees about an inch off the mat. Hold, breathe. Here we're beginning to develop our stability through our upper quadrant. This is important. Try to keep the weight even between the ball of the hand and the heel of the hand, and take rest. Doesn't ever matter if you lift the knees. Just start with knowing that you're getting the weight even between the ball of the hand and the heel, and that you're breathing. And now release if you were lifted. We're going to inhale, extend, curl the toes under. Exhale, move into the downward dog. Push the floor away, breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. Now one more time, bend the knees, drop down. We're going to take the right arm and it's going to reach up into the air. We're going to do one thread, and as you thread the needle, reach that right arm underneath your body. Let that right shoulder be pinned down. Let your right forehead, temple area rest on the mat. And just reach that right arm across. Now I'm going to demonstrate. Just hold your position where you are. Once you're there, I want you to begin to circle the hand and wrist a little bit, like you were a flamenco dancer. You know what I'm talking about, those of you who kind of like the art. And just circle the hand and wrist while you're there, circling around. Breathe. The palm is facing the ceiling. And then make a fist, and then open and close the hand, and push the fingers back into the mat, and breathe. And now reverse the circles. If you were making circles in one direction, go in the other. Flamenco dancer's hands, and now release, come back up, bring that right arm back up, and then exhale, place the right hand down. Let's do that on the other side. You'll be able to see this a little bit better on this side. Inhale, reach up, left arm. Exhale, allow that left arm to come underneath you and reach. We're rotating, gentle rotation here, stretching the back of that left hand onto the mat, widening fingers and breathing. And then taking this opportunity to circle the wrists of that left hand and circling around, doing flamenco finger movements. Breathe, circling around in one direction, opening and closing fingers and circling in the other direction. And just taking this moment to release some of the tension, some of the stress and tension that we might be holding in those hands. You're going to see these movements again later on. And now inhale and exhale. Strong through that right arm. Inhale, reach the left arm up. And exhale, place that left hand back down onto the mat. Strong through the hands, shoulders to pelvis. Breathe, push the floor away, curl the toes under. We're going to lift up back into the downward dog, push the floor away. And now, if it honors you, we're going to circle around in the downward dog. We're going to move our body. Wide fingers, wide palms, hands, even weight bearing. We're going to circle to the right, come forward a little bit, exhale. And one more time, circling to the right, breathing. Feel that work through the hand and wrist. And now we're going to circle in the opposite direction. Remember, you have permission granted to take rest at any time. Breathe. Just circle around. Inhaling and exhaling. Breathing. And then come back center, back into your downward dog. Push the floor away. Breathe. Bend the knees, child's pose, forehead rests, arms can be right next to your feet if that's comfortable. Another great place to flex the wrists and make some circles. Really make a little fist there, breathe, circling the wrists and hands, arms, opening and closing the hands, breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. Come onto your hands and knees. And in this position, a moment ago we did the circling on the downward facing dog. And some of you might have gotten tired there. You can do the circling on hands and knees. Those of you who are still working on getting the extension that you need in the wrist for this, feel free to walk the hands more forward. What happens there is that you don't nearly go into such hyperextension. So that can really be helpful. And over time, here we go, let's circle around. Over time, you can get a little bit more mobility if you do this regularly, and it can really help. Those of you who know that you can get your hands right underneath your shoulders, then feel free to do that. You'll feel a greater range of motion moving through. Just keep breathing. It is common that this is not very comfortable. Reverse the circles. So we don't want to cause more suffering. Listen carefully to your body. Listen to your breath. Only do what you can do with nice, smooth, rhythmic breathing. So we're leading up to something right now, and I'm getting ready to show you one of my signature movements and activities that is also very important for the wrist, but this is not an easy thing. It's one of the ways that I teach people how to mobilize their wrists. And so I want you to listen carefully. We're going to come down now onto your elbows for a moment and move the hands, forearms, wrists back and forth a little bit, circle around. This next movement is for the serious individual who wants to get a little more motion in the wrist and hand area. So when you're ready, come onto your hands and knees. The arms are somewhat ahead of the line. I'm going to ask you to take your right hand and bring your right hand and turn the palm. I'm going to glide it. I'm going to turn the palm up to the ceiling and widen my thumbs and fingers. And gradually, I'm going to then begin to move the back of the hand, or the forearm, the arm, forward. And we're moving into a moment of flexion. It looks like this. My palm is facing the ceiling, and my shoulder drops down. Big stretch happening. Make sure that the left arm is ready for this because you're having to support. Breathe. You can also do this up against the wall. Now we'll curl the fingers in. Woo! Big curl, fingers in, and straighten that right elbow as straight as it'll go. And draw your shoulder away from your ear. This is a real place where the elbow really likes to bend, and so you want to try to straighten that elbow and breathe. And now release. Yeah, we're just having a little fun. Release. That was not comfortable usually. Now I'm going to ask you to bring, if it's honorable to you, you can either bring that hand closer to that knee, because we're going to slide. Get ready. Be ready. That right knee way up into that wrist crease. I just use a little bit of my body weight, and my knee is going to be massaging back and forth. Woo! Now go gently. I have lovely 1-inch tatami mats with my yoga mat. So do not try this at home on concrete or on very bare floor. This is not comfortable. You need something underneath that. But we're mobilizing right now. I've got a lot of cushion with our floor surface. Breathe. And yeah, this is feeling interesting. Keep breathing. Now let that knee drop into the palm. And when I put that knee into my palm, now I'm going to pull my right arm, stretching as if I'm going to try to pull it out. I'm distracting that right wrist. Breathe. Thumbs and fingers stretching out. Woo! And now I leave that there. I'm going to bend my right elbow. Woo! And come back a little bit. Big stretch. Elbows coming towards your thigh. Breathe. Big, big stretch. Breathe. Watch your shoulders. Breathe. Make sure the shoulders don't come screaming up to your ears. And now just release. So let's take a moment. We're going to come onto our elbows for a moment. Woo! Because that is one of the ways, one of the methods that I've developed over the years. Both my husband and I are manually trained physical therapists, and so snapping and popping the joints and making things mobilize is much of what we've been doing, and we have done, and he's done a lot more than I have. But what I did was I started to turn the yoga postures into ways to help teach people how to mobilize their own body. So this is an example of that. And what happens is it empowers you to help yourself, which is good. Don't forget to do a reach out to your physical therapists and to your favorite chiropractors and your doctors of osteopathy. They can really do some really good work for you. Those that believe in the power of exercise after they mobilize or manipulate your body, I would go to that person because once they got you mobilized, now you've got to go do the work to keep yourself there. All right, let's go do the other side. Circle the wrists around and rim, just a little bit, breathe. We're going to come back on the hands and knees. Hands can be right underneath your shoulders or slightly forward. Take that left hand, palm's going to go up, and I'm bringing my hand somewhat towards my left knee, left hand toward my left knee. And then I'm going to slowly begin, thumbs and fingers wide, to glide it away from me, moving it into a moment of greater flexion of the wrists. Breathe. Now be mindful. The right arm is holding us up. So you're holding here, stretching. I'll move my arm forward a little bit. I don't know if you can see what's happening with my left hand. And I'm breathing. Shoulders down. And then curl the fingers in. Woo, big stretch. See if you can straighten the elbow. This is one of those postures where I'll say, go ahead and try to hyperextend that elbow. It's not as easy as it sounds. Breathe. And so we're curling in. Moving the fingers a little bit. Woo. Breathe and come up a little bit and just kind of notice. Now I'm going to bring that left hand closer to my left knee and begin to invite my left knee way up into the area about where the crease of the wrist and the palm come together. And I'm using my right hand strength to support me. My left knee is just very gently coming in. I don't know if you can see that in this particular shot. My left knee is coming up. And it's massaging back and forth. Remember that I have a 1 inch and another 1/4 inch, 1 1/4 inch of matting underneath my body right now, and so this makes this not so excruciating. Stretch the fingers, palm, everything, thumb out, breathe. And now let that left knee drop into that palm, thumbs, fingers wide, breathe. And then from here, I pin that left knee down into that left hand, and I'm gonna now pull, as if I'm pulling my left hand out from underneath my knee, and I'm just feeling that distraction. Pull the shoulders back and down, breathe. Whew. And then once I stop doing that, I'm gonna bend my left elbow towards my thigh for a big stretch at the front of that forearm. Breathe. So elbow bending towards your knee so that that stretch can happen at your forearm, and breathe. And now when you're ready, release. Woo, come back onto your forearms. Stretch back a little bit, reach the arms. Inhale and exhale. Circle the wrists and hands. That was pretty intense. Breathe. Now we're going to come onto the hands and knees. Curl the toes under. Transition into the downward dog. Breathe. Enough of that on the hands and knees for a moment. Walk the feet towards the hands. Get wide in the legs. Bend the knees. Drop the head down. Bring the hands to their thighs. And then inhale. Push all the way up. Woo! Wow, that's a lot of work. Let's circle the hands around. We're going to move into warrior one position on the right hand side. And just as I mentioned earlier, we are actually going to continue to have an emphasis on your upper quadrant. So feeling the sensation of mobilization that we can actually achieve through this particular practice. So step your right foot forward and step your left foot back and breathe. Set your foundation, ball of the foot and heel, lift the toes to feel that muscular arch active. We bend into that right knee, breathe. The hips attempt to face forward to the short edge of your mat, and breathe. Firm the left buttock, breathe, and see if you can hold the torso, keep breathing, over your hips. And the weight is as even as it can be between the right and the left foot. Hold and breathe. Now we can stay right here. This is just fine. We're going to bring an awareness to our upper quadrant, our upper body. So right now as you're here, I'd like you to reach your arms down by your side and draw your shoulders back. We're opening the chest. Breathe. We're strengthening the back side of your body. And we're lengthening the pectoral muscles. Pectoralis major, pectoralis minor is going to get a little stretch, and retract the head and breathe. And just hold right here. This can be enough. Now as we're holding right here, let's circle the wrists a little bit. Let's go do flamenco hands. And just make those motions. Those of us who have been doing, like myself, I've been doing a lot more gardening and shoveling, and wrists and hands have been interesting. Reverse the circle. A lot of pulling of weeds and just getting things going. Now we're going to relax the hands for a moment, shoulders back and down, retract the head, reach the arms to horizontal. Breathe. You can stay right here, keep breathing. Or if you choose, the arms can go skyward. And as we go skyward, same thing. You can circle the wrists and hands and circle them in the other direction. Breathe. And then open and close, hands, fists, fingers wide. Just go to what feels right, depending on, where you are. You can feel them. And now inhale and exhale, release the arms down, step the left foot forward, and hold into Tadasana. That's a warrior one on steroids, because we were there for a while, doing some work for the upper body. Let's try that on the other side. Stepping the left foot forward, the right foot goes back. We bend into warrior one on the left side and firm that right buttock. Breathe. Feel the weight even between both feet. Breathe. Drawing your shoulders back and down. Retract the head. Breathe. And once again, we're holding our position, torso above pelvis. Breathe. And if you choose to, as we back and down, retract the head. This time, stretch the fingers wide, thumbs. Bring the arms back behind us. Don't worry about how high, if you go way up high and the body sacrifices its position, just reach as far back as you can, retract the head. Inhale and exhale, and we're working on squeezing between the shoulder blades, retracting, and dropping the shoulders down. And as you drop the shoulders down, let's give a little awareness to what happens in your ribs. Did you go into a big arch and lose your position? Can you draw the abdominals in gently to help stabilize your position while the arms go back? This is an excellent position to stretch many muscles and strengthen many muscles. Stretching the pectoralis minor, very important, and major, here we are, breathing. And now let's go do flamenco arms back there. Woo, and hands and wrists, and circle around in both directions. And then open and close, fist and open, starfish hands. Breathe. Now keep squeezing the shoulder blades back and down as we then reach the arms forward. And you can, do your hands and wrists again. Breathe. It should feel good. And the arms can go higher if they want to. Breathe. Just notice. Open and close, and flex the wrists back and forth. I've got a fist right now, and I'm just flexing and extending and circling and opening. Breathe, and now when you're ready, release. Step that right foot towards the left. Woo, yeah. So we can do those. We can get into our standing postures and kind of do a little bit of upper quadrant work, but guess what? We're not done yet. I got all sorts of, I can have us here for days. Oh my goodness, we've got all sorts of things we can do with this body. All right, let's face the long edge of your mat and get the legs wide. Just really set your foundation. Foundation matters. It is a very important part of our practices, and the Therapeutic Ashtanga method is the method, actually the name for the method that I've developed over the last 30 years. And this method is very much about foundation. You build a foundation, it's solid, then you can do all sorts of things from that foundation. So right now, legs are wide, weight even between the ball of foot and the heel, breathe, firm the thighs, breathe, head and neck, draw back a little bit, draw in a little awareness. We're going to turn the right foot out to the right side, breathe, as the left foot faces forward. We firm the thighs. Right here, already our coordination and balance has to come in. So we're anchoring, and we're firming thighs, opening the torso, shoulders back and down, bend into that right knee, with it beginning to move into our warrior two position on the right. Breathe, feel the weight even, torso trying to be above the pelvis. Reach now as we squeeze the shoulders back and move them down. Retract the head, draw in our abdominals just enough. Reach the left arm back to the left wall. And hold as you're squeezing the shoulders back and down. Hold right here. Now reach the right arm forward towards the right side. Breathe. And this is our warrior two position. And you bend into that right knee and you breathe and you hold here. And you could stay and this can be it, or as you look over that right hand, breathe. This is warrior two. But I'm going to add a little fun and adventure to this. We're going to hold our legs in warrior two, and I'd like you to extend the wrists, breathe, and extend the fingers and thumbs and breathe. And press the heel of the hand away from you. Breathe, shoulders pull back and down, retract. And just breathe there for a moment and recognize that this doesn't feel very comfortable, does it? Make sure you can breathe. If you can't, you can take rest at any time by straightening the leg or by resting the arms. And now we're going to flex the fingers and extend the fingers and flex the fingers and extend and then flex and extend. And now here, let's take a moment. Let's do our flamenco wrists and hands. Breathe. The legs are still working. Breathe. And then reverse. Shoulders back and down. Woo. And then shake the arms out. Straighten that right knee. Woo. Inhale and exhale. Let's do that to the side. Breathe. The left left foot turns out, the right foot faces forward. We're strong, we firm the foundation, strong through the legs, breathe. Shoulders draw back, breathe, and down. And we begin to bend into that left knee. The knee is in line, relatively in line with that left foot. And we're feeling the weight even, firm through the thighs. We reach the right arm back, reaching. We reach the left arm forward towards the left side. We draw the shoulders back and down. We retract the head and we look over the middle finger, or we look over that left hand and we're holding and breathing. Inhaling and exhaling, and this again, say, hey, what should we do with these arms? Well, first, let's extend. Now we're turning towards the left, and we're going to extend the wrists and lift the back of the hands towards your face. Both hands, we push the heel of the hand away from you as you're extending the wrists, pushing the wrists, the heel of the hands away from you, lifting the fingers up towards the ceiling, breathe. Push the heel of the hand away from you so that you can feel the stretch through your arms. Yeah, this is pretty intense. And then flex the fingers, breathe, holding, and then extend the fingers. So that you have extended the wrist and you are pushing the heel of the hand away from you, flexing the fingers and thumbs, and then extending, and you can really feel this. And then hold with the fingers flexed and pushing the heel of the hand away from you. Now make a fist with the hands and circle the hands, wrists. The legs are working right now. Breathe. Circle, reverse the circle, breathe. And then open the hands and fingers. We're circling, flamenco hands. The legs are saying, hey, what's going on up there? I'm tired. Breathe. And now release. Woo! Knees and feet face forward. This is a great time to do a wide leg forward bend stretch. Strong through legs. Breathe. Hands to thighs, hands to shins, hands to a block, hands to the mat. Wherever you are, just drop your body down. Be strong through your legs and long through the spine. Breathe. We're going to shift the right hip towards the hips actually to the right side. Breathe. And just notice the sensation, what you feel. Can you breathe while you're there? Inhaling and exhaling, and then very gently switch and shift the hips over to the left. And just notice the strength through the legs, the stretch, inner thighs or through the thighs. Just breathe, feel that sensation. Inhaling and exhaling, and then come back center. Gently bend the knees just enough, round through your spine, and then come back up. Come back up to standing. Reach the arms out. Inhale. Now I'm going to turn around to show you what's going to happen here, because you're standing where you are, and I want you to take your hands back behind you. Clasp, you can clasp the fingers. And if you can, check your shoulders. Can you open the shoulders while you're clasping the fingers? And stretch the arms down. We're pretty close to your body. Stretch the arms down away from you, head and neck and neutral. Squeezing and stretching and trying to straighten those elbows as best as you can. Breathe, squeeze, breathe, straighten. Retract the head, and if it feels good, open the front side body and stretch. Breathe, squeeze between the shoulder blades, breathe. Now if you can, put the palms together, you go for it, breathe. If you can gently begin to straighten the elbows, breathe, and then release. Woo, wherever you were, come back, release, and take, and hug your arms and step the feet together for a moment. Tuck the chin down. Whew, all right. All right, let's do another couple of, one of my favorite standing postures is the intense side stretch. So we're going to take our super blocks or your chair and put them in position, bringing them forward and stepping the right foot through, the left foot comes back. So I'm going to remove my block so that you can see what's really happening here. But for now, you know, if you have blocks or if you have a chair, put your hands on the very sturdy chair. You can put your hands on a table, just something that's really steady and sturdy. I'll move my blocks so that you can see that what's going on is got my right foot forward, my hands are on either side, and I want to feel a stretch through the back of the right thigh. The knee is trying to be fairly straight, and the back foot, the whole foot is on the mat. Just let your head and your spine cascade over. And just breathe. Inhale and exhale. This is a great place to take a big stretch, and now I'm going to ask you to shift your hips to the right and then to the left. As you're here, it's a very subtle movement. We're mobilizing through the hips, the spine. Everything that we're doing should feel good. It's a relative good feeling. It's a feeling of, ooh, I'm feeling something. I've got this going on. And now breathe. Inhale and exhale. Just notice what you feel. And now we're going to move our spine into a moment of extension. And this is where it really helps to use our blocks. Where if you place your left hand on a block or on the chair and you extend your spine, firm the thighs, turn your right hip back. I like to put my right hand on my hip. Begin to turn the hips first, then the torso, shoulders down. And then as I turn, it doesn't matter. This is our revolved triangle. And so it doesn't matter if we actually, reach the arm up, but just start turning from the hips first. And then maybe the torso. And if you want to, that right arm reaches up and we push that left hand into the mat and we pull that right arm and we squeeze between the shoulder blades and we look over that right hand and, woo, great place. My hand might be out of frame shot, but I'm doing my circling, my flamenco fingers and hands again. Breathe. Woo. And then when you're ready, come back down. Dorsiflex that right ankle, or lift your toes and ball the foot up so that the heel is on the mat, and then invert and evert. So turn in and out with that ankle. Oh. Breathe out. These are the hallmarks of the work that I do on a regular basis with my clients here in San Antonio, Texas. We are working on mobilizing every major joint, mindfully paying attention, release, and strengthening and stabilizing each side. So you have your blocks, you put the right leg back, bring the left leg forward. Intense side stretch. So I'll take my block away, you can see. Hands on your blocks or on your chair, on your mat. So we're mobilizing, and I like to encourage individuals to empower them so that they can learn how to do these movements. Let your head drop down. That they can learn how to care for their most precious possession, which is their physical, mental, and spiritual health. It's all related. And so our ability to function, to move, to be active, to be able to do what we were put on this earth to do, to meet our Dharma. Breathe, inhale and exhale. We're going to shift the hips to the right and to the left in this position. Inhaling and exhaling. We're in a variation of intense side stretch. Just feel the shifting of your hips left to right. Just notice that might be real interesting to you. Like, woo! See if those legs can be as straight as they can be. Inhaling and exhaling. And then once you've done that for a little while, just feel that stretch. And now here's where we get to our good part. This is where you'll put a hand on a block, or when we move into our variation, right hand on the block, left hand to hip, and the left hip turns back. We rotate through the hips first. The spine, we use the blocks in order to get it into a moment of extension through the spine. The hips then turn, and then we turn as far as it feels right. We're strong through that right arm, firm through the thighs, squeezing between the shoulder blades, and then you decide what you're going to do with that left arm. If we press through that right hand in its support, reach that left arm, and then we can circle. Circling wrists and hands again. There we are. Woo. Do take time to take these movements into consideration, to actually do them. They can really change, reduce some of the stress and tension that you might be carrying. Release. You might not even realize it. I'm moving my block so that you can see that I'm going to dorsiflex the left ankle, lifting the top of the foot towards the shin, extend the toes, and invert and evert the ankle. And this is another one that's not usually very comfortable, but a wonderful report from our students. We've been doing this for the past few months, and now they're like, Nydia, this feels good. It doesn't hurt anymore like it used to. And so that's the beauty of our bodies. They are trainable, malleable. They can learn and adapt. We are adaptable. And boy, are we showing that right now. Release that left foot. We're going to step that left foot back. We're in a variation. If your hands are on the blocks, you're in an elevated downward dog. Just kind of, stretch, breathe. Walk the feet towards the hands. Breathe. Wow. Breathe. Come to standing. We didn't even do my favorite is triangle pose. So let's go do it real quick. And then we'll get on the mat. So get the feet wide and turn to the long edge of your mat. Breathe. We're going to turn the right foot out to the right side. The left foot turns in. Firm the thighs. The pelvis will go to the right side. We reach the left arm back. Squeeze between the shoulder blades and widen the fingers, hands. Firm the thighs as you inhale and exhale and begin to glide that right hand down along the right thigh. Doesn't matter how far you go, but do lengthen the torso. Draw the ribs in gently. Using those abdominals, and come to the place where you can breathe. And if your head gets tired, you can look down. This is another place where I'm going to circle my wrists and hands and do a little flamenco wrists and hands, and open and close starfish hands, fists, and breathe. And then I'll release strong through the legs as you inhale and exhale. Push up. Inhaling and exhaling, other side. Woo. Left foot turns out, right foot face turns in slightly. Firm the thighs, press the pelvis to the left. Reach the right arm back, squeeze between the shoulder blades. And then the left hand's on the left thigh. We firm through the thighs and we glide. Breathe, draw in. We're strong through the legs and long through the spine. You go to the place where you can breathe. We activate gently. And then we circle. Once we get to where we are, where we want to be, we circle the hands and wrists. We make that feeling and sensation. Flamenco fingers, hands, breathe. Woo, open and close, breathe. Inhale and exhale. And now strong through the legs, inhale and exhale, push up. Wide legs, knees and feet face forward. When we had our arms straight out like this, and we squeeze the shoulders back, and I asked you to extend the wrists, when you were pushing your hands away and you lifted your fingers as much as you could, what you were feeling, some of you are feeling like this, woo, what the heck is that? Well, that's a little bit of nerve tension. And when we do this work, we're actually encouraging these movements because our nervous system and the peripheral nerves are moving through a lot of different structures. And sometimes when we don't do these things on a regular basis, now flex the wrist and now circle around. Sometimes these areas get tight. They kind of get bogged down in the connective tissue, the fascia. So what we're doing right now, and I'll circle around, is we're just mobilizing. And we're stretching, and we're encouraging the body to do what it was designed. All of the nervous tissues are designed to be able to stretch out and to do what they need to do. So, all right, let's step the feet together. Inhale, reach the arms skyward. Exhale, bend the knees, bring the hands to your thighs. Inhale and exhale, hands down onto the mat. Step back into the down dog, push the floor away, bend your knees. Inhale, put the elbows down, lace the fingers. Oh, we've got to sneak in a real quick forearm plank. So you can stay right here. Lace the fingers, then push pinkies and back, pinkies into the mat, elbows into the mat, back of the head into the mat. You can stay right here. This is one position. Stay right here, breathe. Curl the toes under, second position, lift the knees up, hold, breathe. It's another thing you could do. You could stay right there, or you could say, oh, I know this one. I think I'm going to keep my hips high and straighten my legs out and hold right here. And other one, I'm going to put my knees down and I'm going to work right here, breathe. And others are going to do a forearm plank, just like Bobby did. You know, you can look for that video. Bobby is my 83-year-old mom, and you could do a forearm plank like she does. Back of the head, ribs to ceiling, knees were down on the mat, and then if you choose, you could stay with the knees down, or you can forearm plank variation right here, breathe. And so we firm the thighs, we firm and breathe, we get everything going, we're holding steady. So many variations, so little time. Bend the knees, and now come back, stretch. Child's pose with the arms stretched overhead, breathe. When you're ready, come into sitting with the legs out ahead of us. Breathe, so right in here. As you are coming into sitting, draw the shoulders back, fingers face your bottom, palms face on the mat, and we're going to move into our reverse plank or Purvottanasana. We squeeze between the shoulder blades and lift the torso. Squeeze between the shoulder blades, straighten the elbows a little bit. Woo. We dorsiflex the ankles. We hold right here, and we just press as if we were going to lift our body up off the mat. And some of you who know this one actually will lift your hips off. But the shoulders pull back, and the elbows can stay bent. Check your hands, your fingers. Breathe. Firm your thighs. Squeeze your butt. Breathe. This is enough. Lead with your chest. Retract your head. And if it's honorable, stay right there. And if you can breathe, maybe you'll hover the hips. Breathe. Maybe you'll lift a little higher. This is more about chest lifting, shoulders pulling back and down, anchoring through the firmness of your support in your hands. So slowly release, breathe, inhale. Now reach your straps or reach your feet. If you use your strap, this is a really neat technique that our partner, David Darby, taught me to really stabilize and get a nice mobilization for the wrist, for the ankle and the foot. So we take the strap, if you've got one, around your feet, just like this, and give yourself enough slack here, enough feed, because now I'm going to take, hold on, I'm going to take that right strap and loop it around. Now I made it go through the center, went through the middle. Now I take the left one and loop it around. And now what these straps are doing is they're going to encourage my feet to move out to the side as I draw. And this is a really great way to get an extra stretch. Now I'm going to bend forward, extend your toes, and you will definitely know that there's something happening at the stretch at your feet. Inhale and exhale, breathe. And some of you are like, well, Nydia, I can reach my feet. Well, then you can just use your hands. I put my thumbs on the ball, the base of the big toe on the top of it, fingers on the outside. I use my hands and I just do the same thing. Breathe. I was very encouraged when David Darby showed me, hey, we can, actually he was doing it himself, and I was observing his work. And so this is full credit to him. Breathe. It's very effective. You don't need to be able to reach your toes. You can actually get this action going, and it's a good thing to do. And now, when you're ready, if you've stretched enough in this position, we're going to inhale, come up. You can release the strap from the right foot. We're bending the left knee. Excuse me. We're going to bend the right knee, and the right foot's going to come left thigh. And then allow that right thigh to drop out. We're bending forward and dropping over. This is our seated head to knee pose. You can use your strap, or you could use your hands, or you could just support. Just go to where you can breathe. Don't worry about how much. Inhale and exhale. And now when you're ready, inhale, come up, switch sides, straightening the right leg, bending the left knee, allowing that left thigh to drop out. Don't worry about how close this heel comes to the midline. Just go to where you can feel a stretch. This should feel good. Strap to the right foot, or just drop over and make a muscle, if you will, at the front of that right thigh. Drop the left thigh out. Just go to where you can. You feel a sense of stretch. This should feel good. And then when you're ready, come on up. Very nice. We're going to bend the knees and slowly, and I think I'll turn around here. Just slowly roll down. Roll onto your spine, holding your position, and breathing. Hug the right knee and then the left knee up into your chest, and if you can, holding onto your thighs right at the kneecaps, just circle the thighs around and feel another moment of mobilization to the lumbar spine. Really, this is more of a pelvis and sacrum mobilization. It feels pretty good for most of us. Keep breathing. Reverse the circles. Breathing. Very nice. We're going to hug the right knee in the chest as the left leg stretches out, and straighten that left knee out and firm the left buttock. Push, dorsiflex that ankle. And now hold on with the left hand to the right thigh, and the right arm comes down onto the mat. We're going to rotate and twist and look over the right shoulder. Now, here's another opportunity. I'm going to raise my arm so that you can see it. Right now, my right arm is stretching and touching the mat. And I might start with my shoulder on the mat, palm is down, but I'd like you to do your flamenco wrists and hands, fingers as you can. Just kind of turn, stretch around and reach, and extend the wrists and flex the wrists, and just breathe as you're looking over that right shoulder. Inhaling and exhaling. And then release that hand, arm. While you're in this position, breathing, think about straightening that right leg out. I'm holding on right above the knee. And just think about straightening that leg over a little bit, and just notice what that's all about. Breathe. Dorsiflex and plantarflex the ankle. You can circle the ankle also, just like we did with the hand and wrist. You can flex the toes, extend the toes. We're mobilizing and encouraging and inviting the whole body into a movement practice, a mindful, breath-centered movement awareness practice. This is so valuable. Gently bend the knee, bring that right knee back. Hug that right knee to your chest, bend the left knee, and cross the right ankle over the thigh. This is our supine figure 4. Hips level, shoulders level. Invite the right thigh out, away from you. You can stay right here. Check that the neck and the shoulders are very relaxed. Some of you know this position and will hug that left thigh into chest. Don't be in a rush for this. If you notice your neck and shoulders, you can't breathe. Just stay right where you were. The other thing you can do is use a strap as an extension of your arms and hold right here. This might help. You might get a little stretch. And another thing, since you're at home, you could actually put your foot up on a sturdy couch or up on the wall, and it feels really good when we do that. So just listen to the sensation, relax your neck and shoulders, and just breathe. Oftentimes I get the question, Nydia, where should I feel this? It really is different for every person, and it depends on your previous experience with movement, your mobility, flexibility. Some of us will feel it in the hip, others will feel it in the thigh, others will feel it, in the calf. I mean, it's real interesting. So slowly release that, left foot down. Go ahead and cross that right thigh way over the left thigh, squeezing the thighs together, and then drop the thighs over towards the left. Look over the right shoulder. This is a spinal twist, a rotation. Should feel good. Inhaling and exhaling. And then bring that right thigh back. Uncross the right thigh. Inhale and exhale. We hug the left knee into your chest and we straighten the right leg out. And we're firming the right buttock. We're hugging that left knee in. We're checking the neck and shoulders, making sure that they're not overworking. Just lengthen. Keep firming the right buttock. That's strategic. Come to class when your studio opens again, and I'll tell you why. Now we're going to take the right arm, hold on to that left thigh, put the left arm on the mat, and draw that left thigh across the body. This is the place where we can anchor the left shoulder, anchor the left hand, and earlier we were working the hand and wrist again, forearm and flamenco fingers and hands and circling around. Everything that we're doing, just feeling pretty good. We sometimes forget about these important workers, these hands, forearms, wrists, shoulders. We don't really think about them until something goes awry. And then we're all upset because something went wrong. And, bring attention to these very important parts. Our lives are changed when we can't use these hands, arms, wrists. And so our attention to this upper quadrant. Now, as you inhale, we're still holding that left thigh across your body. If you choose to allow that left knee to straighten out and just notice what that feels like. Each of us are different, how far that goes, whether it feels good or not so good. Just use your best judgment. Breathe, go to the place. I'm going to circle my foot around. There goes that ankle, foot, circling around, and flex the toes and extend the toes, and so much that we can do. We maximize our body, its motion, its mobility, its potential for strength and well-being. And now gently bend that left knee, bring it back to center, hugging it in. We bend the right knee and place the right foot on the mat and cross that left ankle over that right thigh. You can hold right here, level shoulders, level pelvis, best as you can. And then just use your own muscular energy, strength for external rotation. Some of us will stay right there. Some of us will hug that right knee into chest. Breathe, inhaling and exhaling. Remember, you could use your strap. If you can't reach, you just take the strap around and hold. Just be mindful of what the head, neck, shoulders are doing. Don't work so hard. This doesn't have to be hard to be effective. Just start where you are. Breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. And then release that right foot down. Keep crossing the left thigh over and drop the thighs over to the right. Look over the left shoulder, and once again you can flamenco some fingers and arms and wrists and the hands. And, or you could say, you know what, maybe I've had about enough of that. Whew. But I will ask you to daily take a moment to take a break, to step away from your computers, put down your cell phones, and just do some stretching. Stretch the arms and the wrists and the shoulders, and to focus your attention on your breath and just bring yourself into the moment. It's really good for your nervous system to down-regulate, to invoke the relaxation response. When you're ready, come back center, uncross the thighs, and if you have your blankets, you can take your blanket or a block and place it. You can even put just your hands up underneath your hips. And we elevate just to get a little upside down. That feels pretty good. You can stay right there or lift the knee up. That feels pretty good. Lift the thighs up. Just finding the place where you feel comfortable, where you're able to take rest. Doesn't matter if the legs do not go up in the air. You can already start your resting Shavasana. This is a great time for those of you who have your at-home aromatherapy to take and put a drop of lavender or serenity. We have so many different types of essential oils that you can use, and just to encourage. We started here with a combination. Right now it is that pollen season, oak pollen season right now. So we started here with a combination of lemon, lavender, and peppermint. And those are, they have powerful antihistamine properties. And so that combination, each one of them by themselves, has antihistamine properties. And all together they're powerful, and they really are beneficial for us here at the Hacienda Darby, Nydia's Yoga Therapy Studio. We like to use those to keep our sinuses from becoming overwhelmed. Very gently now, just feel your breath. We're going to bend your knees slowly. That was our little break-in upside down. Place the right foot down on the mat. Bring the left foot down onto the mat and adjust your blanket if you have it. Stretch your arms and legs out. And take a moment now to settle your body into the mat. Our resting practice at the end of this work is as important as the physical strengthening and stretching, and so don't scrimp on this part. Let yourself drop into your resting. Continue to focus your attention on your breath. Some of you who might have been using Ujjayi, the sounding breath, let go of that too. Just relax your throat, relax the muscles on your face, close your eyes. Relax your neck and shoulders. Relax the muscles in your arms, forearms, wrists and hands. Relax the muscles along your spine, under your shoulder blades, along your ribs and torso, your chest. Relax the muscles around your low back, your pelvis, your sacrum, your buttocks and your thighs, front and back. Relax the muscles in the front and back of your thighs and the lower legs, calves, shins, ankles, and feet, until your whole body is allowed to rest. Keep breathing and listen carefully. If you listen carefully, you can hear the sounds of our wild bird friends. Very gently bringing awareness, very subtle awareness to the movement so gentle of your fingers, circling wrists and hands, toes flexing and extending, circling ankles. Stretching now the arms way over your head, stretching the legs, taking a breath. Very gently bending the knee. We're finding that moment where you can just rest. And then slowly transitioning as you're moving back into the seated position. You can sit up on your blankets or legs crossed. Find a position that is honorable for you. We close now with one long, strong, aware, connected, blessed beyond all comprehension. With the mantra, it's a fantastic mantra to repeat in your mind when you have a moment, when you have overwhelming concern or worry, or you just aren't being present. You stop what you're doing, take a breath, gentle inhale, slow, deep exhalation, and repeat the mantra in your mind, sending out loving kindness to all beings everywhere. This mantra, may we all be safe. May we all be happy. May we all be healthy. And may we all live with ease. We close with one long, strong Om. Inhale. Inhale, reach the arms skyward, gently place the palms together, move them past the mind's eye, drop them down into the heart center. Blessings to each of you. Thank you for allowing me to serve you in this practice. Thank you for coming in, joining us, to move your body, to stretch. Doesn't matter if it wasn't perfect, doesn't matter if it was, what it was. Move with awareness of your breath. Take this opportunity every day. And if you will, join us in our crusade. We are in training for our next decade. What we do today is beneficial to help us in the next 10 years and so on and so on. So do the practice. You can reach out to me at our website at www.nydiasyogotherapy.com. Do check out our YouTube page and do subscribe to Nydia's Yoga Therapy page on our YouTube. This is really helpful to me in being able to spread and share this message of therapeutic yoga that's developed by a doctor of physical therapy and a long-term fitness and movement specialist. So I'm looking forward to checking out, coming out again next week. We'll be doing some more work. Keep an eye out, vimeo.com, and on our Facebook page, Nydia's Yoga Therapy Studio. Do check us out, and the Open Hand Institute. This is Nydia Darby, getting ready to sign out, and I hope that you have an amazing day. May you